Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. The sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Vasalut and welcome! It is officially the weekend. Well, at least as I define the weekend around here. Starting at midday on Friday, I consider it the weekend because, you know, even if you're 9 to 5, you're at lunch, the rest of the day you're just coasting, counting the time until you can slide off that brontosaurus into your car, pedal away, and get the weekend started. Yeah. So, I suppose that on a Friday like today, the question that always comes up is,
what you sipping on?
And I'll tell you exactly what I'm sipping on. The title is the spoiler, by the way. We'll get to that. Don't know. Have I talked about vodka before? The history of vodka? I can't remember. We may be covering some ground we've already trod before, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's say hi to all of you in the chat, starting with first, Big Al of Big Al Presents. That is vodka! Looking forward to this one. Hello, Liquid Lunchers. Hope you enjoy the show. Have a great stream, my friend. And based on the way Big Al says that, I'm guessing I haven't talked about vodka. Otherwise, he would have said something. Oh, vodka again, or something like that. He has a good memory for this kind of stuff. Me and my monkey having a drink with me. Is it martini time? Not exactly. I have done a martini stream where I talked about the whole gin, vodka, how for me, I'm not real big on the vodka martini. For me, a martini is gin. But I suppose from the perspective of if vodka is your choice for the base for a martini, and a martini is a spirit-centered cocktail with something added to it. Technically, by a stretch of the definition, you could say, for example, a vodka cranberry could be considered a martini, or some other fruit juice or whatever. So I would suppose that's a possibility. At some point, I may even just have straight vodka with a couple olives in it. Does that make it a martini? If I call it a martini, it's a martini, the way I see it. Connie Cleary says, hail to the chat and hail to you, Birdwoman of YouTube from Fluff Chick Productions. The love of my life sneaks in here to say that I am the love of her life, and I super, super appreciate that. She finally finished her self-eval at work. I'm so glad. Now get the real work done so you can party tonight. That is the plan. When life gives you lemons, slice them up, add them to vodka, and have a party. Let's see here. She says, like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, gift a membership if you are feeling generous, because you can become a member for as little as $2 a month, which makes you a part of the family, let's be honest with you. And among those, among the benefits of membership, which includes supporting a channel like this one, every Monday I do a special members-only stream called Members Night at the Movies, where you choose the movie. It's looking more and more like this week it's going to be Zombieland. It's what you guys chose. If that's what you want to watch, that's what we will watch. But 1 week from Monday, very special presentation that I might open up to the public just this once. We'll talk about that later next week. Gifted memberships are also welcome. Help Last Call reach 100 members by the end of the year. Yes. If every one of my members was to gift a membership to somebody else, we would make our goal. We're that close. But in the meantime, anything you could do to bring in viewership to hopefully grow the membership, and the way you can do that is to help me reach my other goal, which is 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That costs nothing. You just share me out on your socials and you say, hey, let's go support this channel that I like a lot. If I like them, you're going to like them. And hit that subscribe button. We could get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And here we have Aged Boomer becoming a member. No kidding. Well, welcome to membership, Aged Boomer. I had no idea you weren't a member. Well, I guess I wasn't paying attention, but thank you so much for becoming a member of my channel. Agent Boomer, like, you don't support me in every other way. You're literally my partner in this endeavor. Thank you so much, my friend. You are a good one. You are a good one. First drinks on Netter. That's something else that I was thinking about today that I should mention, and I don't often enough. I, to this day, still have the link in the description below, Buy Me a Drink, where you could just PayPal me a donation. It goes straight to me. There is no fee to the platform. 100% of that goes to me if you want to buy me a drink. Link in the link below. Seriously, I mean, I say buy me a drink. I will use that money to go and replenish my, in this case, vodka stock. News alert. Dolly Parton has bought a controlling interest in store chains Big Lots, Piggly Wiggly, and Harris Teeter. These chains are to be combined into one chain called Big Wiggly Teeters. Thank you, Boomer. I honestly didn't see that coming until I was halfway through the sentence. Wow. There you go. There you go. Salute. All right. Let's get to wow. That cranberry does kind of add some tartness there, doesn't it? Let me bring up my shared screen. I got to actually share the screen, though. I did not do that in advance. I should have, but didn't. And here we go. The history of vodka. How it all started. That sounds good. That sounds good. And, of course, they put a picture of... In the drawing, they had potatoes, right? Right? If you are curious to know where and who produced vodka spirits first, keep on reading the article below. Vodka is a neutral spirit, has no odor or color, and can be derived from any fermentable ingredient. It was traditionally made primarily from potatoes. Some regions still use potatoes and corn to make vodka. However, cereal grains such as wheat are used to distill vodka in most of the United States. Vodka was used as medicine in medieval times. It's literally pure alcohol. So there are absolutely perfectly good medicinal uses for alcohol. So it should still be used medicinally. Just responsibly. Know what you're drinking and why. It was marketed as a possible cure for a wide range of ailments and conditions, including infertility and toothaches. I can see it helping the toothache. You get drunk enough, that pain's going to get pretty dull. Yeah, all your senses get dull. But infertility? If infertility is because you're a little uptight and you have high inhibitions, it'll help lower your inhibitions, which may result in humans. But if it's more of the performance variety, I'd say it does the exact opposite. If Little Poindexter isn't standing up to salute, he is far less likely to salute under the influence of vodka. Even records indicate that vodka was thought to be a miracle cure for the plague. In what way could it act? Okay, so the plague was a bacterial infection. So I don't see any way that ingesting vodka is going to help you if you have a bacterial infection. If you get drunk enough and never leave the house, you won't catch it, so it could be preventative. It is also it is alcohol. It does kill germs on surfaces. So if you wash your hands in vodka, if you spray it around, it can help prevent the spread of a bacterial disease. In fact, cosplay trick. If you have a problem with odor in garments that won't release those odors, for example, spandex. Those of you that do the superhero cosplay, that body odor smell gets into, and I don't care how you wash it, it won't come out. Spray it in vodka. It's alcohol, so it evaporates very quickly without staining, and it takes, it kills all the bacteria that's causing the smell. That's an old cosplay trick. Carry vodka around in a spray bottle when you go to conventions to spray on your costume. Vodka's popularity skyrocketed during the 1940s and remains one of the world's most popular spirits today. Every year, billions of gallons of vodka are consumed globally. I am not at all surprised. So, how it's made. Cereal grains are the most common, but potatoes and grapes are also used. I suppose you could use grapes, sure. Fermentation. The base material is starch, converted into sugar, if necessary, and fermented. Yeah. Neutral style, classic vodkas are made using a continuous still with very little character or base material remaining. Some premium vodkas use pot still distillation, which tends to retain light characteristics of the base materials. And then step 3, adaptation. Most vodkas are filtered through activated charcoal to remove impurities. The spirit is reduced to bottling strength, a minimum of 37.5% alcohol by volume. Because what vodka essentially is watered down hooch. Hooch is, purest alcohol. Historically, vodka production did not produce the pure form of vodka we enjoy today. Many impurities were left in the alcohol due to antiquated manufacturing methods. To mask these impurities, vodka producers frequently used fruits and spices. So in other words, when you buy a flavored vodka today, it's generally an infusion of vanilla or some fruit or some spice. When you get an extract, what you are essentially getting is infused alcohol. They have leached the flavor. If you take vodka, okay, and you put a bunch of vanilla beans in it and just let it sit and then strain it out, what you have left is vanilla extract. Talking about talking about history, Russia and Poland have long-running disputes over who was the first to produce vodka spirits, claiming to have created and celebrated it in their national drink. However, the truth may be irrelevant because today's product is undeniably different from that of the 15th and 16th centuries. And let's be honest, if we were really being truthful, vodka probably predates the 15th and 16th century. It almost certainly does. And it's probably been developed spontaneously by other cultures all around the world. It definitely predates what is known as Poland and Russia and any political boundaries they have had, going back at least that far. Russia did not have their first documentation of vodka until 1751. Taking advantage of the cold weather, Russian pioneers developed an early form of freeze distillation. We kind of talked about that a little bit when we were talking about Applejack. Freezing beer overnight to remove the water content. This resulted in a spirit with higher alcohol content, but also concentrated level of fuel oils and other impurities. Oh, fusel oils. I'm sorry. Fusel oils. Where would those come from? Many key characteristics of modern vodka can be attributed to Russia, like the invention of charcoal filtration to remove impurities from the final spirit, attributed to the 18th century chemist Theodor Lawitz. In 1780, the Russian Tsar commissioned him to make the national drink more hygienic. However, a Russian peasant named Pyotr Smirnov created one of today's most popular vodka brands. It's on the thumbnail. Rather than his Russian ancestry, he named his spirits brand after the French spelling of his name. The Russian aristocracy became increasingly involved, eventually establishing a monopoly on vodka production at the expense of the working class. Yeah, sounds a little bit like prohibition. This was a major factor in the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution. You can always tie revolutions back to alcohol. We've talked about that here before as well. Which forced leading distillers like Vladimir Smirnov, son of Pyotr, to halt production and flee the country. Smirnov ended up in Poland, then France, before bringing his brand across the Atlantic and facilitating vodka's introduction to the Western world. Talking about Poland, according to the first written document, vodka was invented in Poland in 1405. That would predate, the at least the official official record in Russia. The Polish word vodka dates back to 1405, when it referred to alcohol-based medicines and cosmetics made from frozen wine. Again, the freezing process. Later in the 16th century, it was common for families to make their vodka at home, flavoring it with fruit and herbs to mask the harsh taste of the alcohol. Natural flavorings are still a tradition in Polish vodka production today. Poland is well known for its potato vodka. It began with a royal exchange at the beginning of the 19th century, when the Austrian emperor gave the exotic item from the Americas to the Polish king. Later in the century, the introduction of new technologies enabled the production of more refined vodkas, with rectification close to today's standards implemented in 1871. There are over 1,000 Polish vodka brands today, but the import with Russian roots, Smirnoff, is among the best-selling because many Poles consider it to be more premium. Both Poland and Russia were distilling high-quality vodka during World War II, but almost all of it was consumed in the country where it was produced. It was not yet regarded as a global spirit in the same way that whiskey, rum, or brandy were. In 1938, when the rights to Smirnoff were sold in the United States, the colorless, odorless liquid held little appeal to North American drinkers who were accustomed to the whiskeys that had flourished after Prohibition. The vodka invasion began thanks to the ingenuity of John G. Martin, an executive at the Hublain Drink Company. A clever marketing strategy included the Smirnoff branding, resulted in the creation of the widely celebrated Moscow Mule, a cocktail that embodied the spirit of vodka, fresh, dry, and spicy. This signaled the arrival of vodka in the West and aided it launching a cocktail revolution that would sweep the United States. Today, there are brands producing vodka and gaining massive popularity worldwide. Here are a few brands listed below. Obviously, they're not pushing anyone in particular. So there's Smirnoff. Number 21 vodka is known as the world's #1 vodka. This award-winning vodka has a bold flavor with a dry finish for ultimate smoothness and clarity. It is triple distilled and 10 times filtered, which makes this vodka ideal to drink on the rocks or in your favorite cocktail. And it is kosher certified and gluten-free, as you would expect of a highly distilled alcohol. Absolute vodka is well like vodka worldwide, distinguished by its recognizable apothecary bottle and mild wheat aroma. It is made in the Swedish town of Hush from locally produced wheat and is smooth enough to be consumed neat or enhance drinks' sweetness. Absolute contains no added sugar, along with its premium taste and commitment to using only the highest quality ingredients, making the brand stand out from overall vodka in the world. Even though Absolute has a wide range of flavor options, its basic unflavored vodka ought to remain a mainstay in every bar. One of the purest vodkas on the market, it has a crisp, pure flavor that is both full-bodied and complex. Grey Goose. Grey Goose vodka is a French vodka made from winter wheat grown in France and cognac area water, and is one of the first ultra-premium vodkas ever to enter the market. It is an absolute favorite, I'm sure there's no pun intended there, and is loved by customers. Why? Because of the toasted undertones, subtle spice notes, and creamy finish. Oh, I'm going to take the plunge here. Stolicania. we all call it Stoli, right? For a reason. Has raised the bar for premium vodka since 1938 by fusing modernity and inventiveness with centuries-old custom to produce a drink that is at once delightfully contemporary and unquestionably timeless. Stoli is traditionally fashioned, incredibly smooth vodka. A pleasant, elegant entry leads to a smooth, medium-bodied palate with a pastry icing, talcum powder, and citrus rind taste. The wine is crystal clear in color and has aromas of marshmallow, mineral, and subtle fruit peel. It ends with a crisp, subtly sweet sugar dust, wet straw, and well-balanced pepper fade. They make it sound really good. I never noticed any of that stuff when I've drunk Stoli, but okay. Ciroc, yep, a truly modern vodka. Ciroc was inspired by more than a century's worth of winemaking expertise and artistry. Ciroc has a particular flavor with an unusually fresh, smooth, and fruity taste, thanks to the outstanding French grapes and the fifth distillation. Ciroc's dedication to great taste, quality, and a fun-loving lifestyle can be seen in its lusciously smooth, playfully sophisticated product. Exceptionally smooth when consumed straight or on the rocks, Ciroc also blends flawlessly in some of your favorite mixed drinks. There you go. That is suggested brand names. I don't think I have any Stoli in the house. I don't have any Absolute. I do have a bottle of Smirnoff. I always have a bottle of Smirnoff. So yeah. And you notice cranberries. Cranberries. So tonight, well, I'm not sure to what degree I will be mixing my vodka. The darker red it is, the more juice there is in it. So at some point you may see a very, very clear drink going down. Things are going to get pretty lit at that point. But before we get to your comments, which we'll get to on the other side of this, let's take a little less than 2 minutes just to wind out the week and see what we got coming up. And then we'll talk on the other side. Be right back.
You're watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Riggs and Murtaugh are on the trail of South African diplomats who are using their immunity to engage in criminal activities. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are joined by Joe Pesci and the lovely Patsy Kensit in the buddy cop sequel Lethal Weapon 2. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Last Call Presents, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the King of Bohemia, asks Holmes to retrieve a compromising photograph from actress and singer Irene Adler, who proves to be a worthy opponent. It's A Scandal in Bohemia, this Tuesday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Last Call Presents.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
And Big Al says, potatoes! Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Lovely big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish. There you go. I love fish and chips, yes. Particularly when you sprinkle them with a bit of malt vinegar. Let's see. Now I want fish and chips. There you go. And Lynn Green, welcome. Happy Friday to you. Glad you're here. Actually practicing mixology today. Nice. Liked and shared. But yeah, Joe, every Friday is, because it's the intro to the weekend, I tell everyone what I'll be sipping on during Last Call. Speaking of Last Call, tonight we will be talking television. We're going to be talking about the television of the past and what seems to have happened to it. It's going to be interesting. I just got back from the China buffet. Oh, love China buffet. Oh, I haven't been to any buffets since before the coof. And for Joe, Absolute is his vodka jam. And he's trying to help me pronounce Stoli. It's Stolichnia. I can 100% guarantee you I will not remember that. And he's saying it's pronounced Kuel. So it's Kryptonian, is what you're saying. Isn't that the god who bleeds and husband of Miramani? That's Kirok. Oh, the actor who played Jake Sisko. That too, yes. Oh, wow. There's a lot of Star Trek in that one, isn't there? I am Kirok! I like that. I talk TV. Yeah, well, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, Lynn. If you take a nap, maybe you can stay up and chat with us tonight. No one caught it. The next line was China buffet. What's the China buffet? I don't get the reference on that one. I just know the restaurant, China buffet. I always liked it. But there you go. So I would love to know if you guys are enjoying the weekend tonight with an adult beverage. What adult beverage are you planning on sipping on? And even if you're not going to be having an adult beverage, if you are the designated driver or you do not so imbibe, is there something else that you will be enjoying tonight to enjoy your start of the weekend? Is this not the start of the weekend for you? Do you have to work tomorrow and therefore you can't party too hard tonight? Would love to hear what's going on with you guys. Ordinarily, I would talk about forwarding you all over to Wilkie's Movies and Music today at the end of the stream, but it doesn't appear that he has a Friday stream scheduled for some reason. I hope everything's okay on his end. You might notice this lightened up during the promo break. The Inquisition musical number from History of the World replaced Auto de Fe with China Buffet. Oh, I completely missed that. It's something I oughtn't, but I did anyway. Fair enough. There you go. So I did mention this a little bit earlier on, or at least I alluded to it. So I do want to go ahead and share that a week from Monday is Life Day, which brings up, by the way, let me grab this one right here. I got my little Life Day globes. I would have them on, but because of the way lighting works in here, it kind of blinds you. I mean, up close you can see, the fairy lights inside. But if I put it down, back here, it's just one bright white light. And that's kind of defeating the whole effect. It needs to be a little bit more, fairy light-ish. So what am I going to do? Nothing I can do about that. But, so anyway, a week from Monday is Life Day. It is the 17th. And I am, normally, Monday is Members Night at the Movies. However, I dropped something that I need to pick up. Hold on a second. Screw it. It'll wait till after the stream. So what I'm thinking about doing, in deference to my my members, I hope you don't mind, I am going to open up Members Night at the Movies to the general audience. Hopefully convince them to become members while they're there for my annual Star Wars Holiday Special stream, live stream. Just like any other, watch along, I'll be playing it off platform, and we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy talking with each other on YouTube, and we'll be streaming off platform, watching the movie. A 99% likelihood that the version of the holiday special I'll be playing will be the Thank the Makers edit, which you can think of as a special edition, but better. It tones down some of the variety show elements that are just cringe-inducing, and actually replaces some of the story elements with clips from other things that makes it actually really good, and some very funny translation of the Wookiee language in the subtitles. So we will be doing that a week from Monday. Unfortunately, you're modding on Moonskull at the same time. That's fair. That is fair. The Inquisition musical number. Oh, yeah. I said that. And if you drink enough, you won't notice how off-key Carrie is on that finale. Yes. We celebrate this day of days. I have seriously considered I could probably put together a karaoke version of that, but I would need to practice it because you're right, it is pretty off-key. And I need to find the right key. But what it essentially is the Star Wars theme slowed down to a ballad, is what it basically is. So it would be interesting to try out. There is a great scene in the Thank the Maker edit where Itchy and Mala go to the view screen to call the rebellion because they're worried about where's Chewbacca, and they connect with Princess Leia and C-3PO at some rebel headquarters. And she gets up from behind a desk and goes to walk around it, and she clearly stumbles. And she's stewed to the gills. There's no doubt about it. And Mala turns and grunts something at Itchy in Wookiee, and the subtitle says, "Looks like the princess has already been dipping into the holiday cheer." 9 to midnight tonight is Strange Eons. Gotcha. Well, in a way, it's kind of Strange Eons over on mine, too. Watching an old, bald Italian guy get drunk. But there you go. So, yes, and my hope is that this may be overly ambitious, but I am hoping to have my Cantina video ready by then. If not, maybe I will just get a segment of it put together for Life Day. that specifically focuses on the holiday special element of cantina-ness. I don't think people realize how much the holiday special actually influenced aspects of Star Wars lore, canon or not. Leave canon out of it. One of the first, not the first wave of action figures, one of the figures in the second wave of action figures was specifically a character that only appeared in the holiday special, and that's Snaggletooth. I will talk about that in this video. That picture on the card is a character from the holiday special, literally taken from the holiday special. That is not a shot of one of the creatures in the cantina from the original Star Wars. There are sort of analogs of that character too, in fact, but it is not the same character. That little red Snaggletooth figure that you got back in 1979 was a character from the holiday special. In fact, it was the first, but not the last. Technically, Boba Fett was also intended to be released as a figure from the holiday special. The mail-away offer came when it finally came in the mail, said as seen in the holiday special, and there was meant to be a whole line of holiday special action figures that would have included all of the Wookiee family. Those didn't make it past the prototype stage, and they scrapped the whole idea because the holiday special wasn't very well received, and they just went ahead and made the Boba Fett a free mail-in, and then released it towards the end of the Star Wars line, just before Empire Strikes Back. Tomorrow night, opposite the film rewatch, is the premiere of Curse of the Crimson Throne. Curse of the Crimson Throne. Very interesting. There you go. There you go. So that is all I have for you all tonight. Today. Tonight, of course, Last Call with Troy Pacelli with my new member of the channel and faithful sidekick, Aged Boomer, and my lovely wife, Netter of Netter's Network. We'll be talking television tonight. Honestly, I feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't even understand network television the way we grew up with it. I think it's a cultural touchstone that is going away. So let's talk about it a little bit. Oh yeah, and then Yoda came shortly thereafter. Yeah, I remember seeing that action figure before the movie was ever released and not knowing who this character was, this Yoda character. You know? Anyway. Which, of course, was a spoiler, right? Because if you saw Yoda, and you're like, oh, that's Yoda. And Luke's like, I'm looking for someone named Yoda, and looking for a great warrior. You know, and he's pretending not to be Yoda. You're all like, we know this is Yoda. He doesn't. It kind of a spoiler. It was supposed to be a big reveal, but it works. I think it still worked. I don't think any of the spoilers that I ever got related to Star Wars ever hurt it for me. I was not one of the ones who had the "No, I am your father" line spoiled for me. But I can guarantee you that even if I had, it wouldn't have mattered. Because it still would have had that impact when you saw it in the theater and you're sitting there going, is that true or is he lying? He's a villain. Villains lie. You know? I did have the ending of Return of the Jedi spoiled because I read the comic book adaptation before I went to see it and was not bothered at all. I loved that story. It was a bit of a spoiler. And I on the same train of thought. Yeah. Not like he's Luke's... Yeah. See? You're getting ahead of me. Yeah. We didn't know it was true until Jedi. That's right. So I think I've talked about this many times, about how after having seen Empire Strikes Back, I may be confabulating this memory. This may not be an actual memory, but I kind of seem to remember having a conversation with some of my friends in grade school about who Luke's father was. And somebody saying it was Darth Vader because of Empire Strikes Back, which I hadn't seen yet. And again, it didn't feel like a spoiler to me, because even knowing Vader says, "I am your father," doesn't necessarily mean you believe it or that it's true. So here were the theories that we had in the schoolyard. Could be Darth Vader. He could have been telling the truth. A lot of us thought it was Obi-Wan. We thought it was Obi-Wan protecting him, being close by, taking an interest in his son, protecting him, but not wanting him to, be caught up by the Empire. Which, that's child logic, because it doesn't really work when you consider Obi-Wan's the one who convinces him to go off and help rescue Princess Leia and literally gets him started into all of that damn fool idealistic crusade. But that was the another theory. And one theory that my buddy David came up with that I thought was actually very plausible was that Boba Fett was Luke's father. And so, this conversation had to have come after we saw Empire Strikes Back, now that I think about it. Because he points out how Boba Fett was such a crack shot and such a great bounty hunter and, disintegrations and all that kind of stuff. And he never once shoots Luke. He keeps him alive. Now, again, that's flawed child logic, because we know that everyone firing at Luke in Empire Strikes Back, in fact, all of it, shooting at Han and Leia and Lando and all of them, they were under, and the novelization brings this up, they were under strict orders not to kill them, because it was all part of Vader's plan to get his hands on Luke alive and bring him to the Emperor. He needed Han and Leia alive, albeit tortured and traumatized, so that Luke would sense them in the Force and go to rescue them. They were the bait. So don't kill them, or I have no bait. And don't kill Luke. I need him to come to this chamber so I can carbon freeze him. But at the same time, the idea that we knew nothing about Boba Fett's background at the time. He absolutely could have been Luke's father, and we wouldn't have known. That would have been a very, very interesting story as well. In Star Wars, where the villains don't lie, but the Jedi lie constantly, well, from a certain point of view, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Although, what's interesting is there's also a writing element there that's very, very interesting. So you have the flawed hero who uses deception and lies because he's trying to protect people, but it turns out badly because that is a bad. You're using the methods of evil for what you think is good. That's always going to turn out badly, And when you finally eschew all that and are willing to sacrifice everything to do what's right, that's when you end up winning. So that's actually a good use of plot. And the villain telling the truth. Why? Because the most insidious lie is predominantly the truth, misleading though it might be, right? The most vile villain doesn't look like a villain. He has the face of an angel and calls himself your friend. So there you go. Wait, Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine lied once when he claimed that the dark side could save Padme and the baby. We don't know that's a lie. We know that he never intended to allow it to happen, but we don't know that there wasn't some dark side ability that could have, in fact, because it is implied that Darth Vader himself exists because of some dark Jedi alchemy, right? That caused the midi-chlorians to create a, Immaculate Conception in Shmi, right? There is potentially great story there. Why Shmi? Did she have some sort of Force lineage that Palpatine was aware of? How did he know about her? Why? All of these things, right? So that could have been very interesting. He also lied directly to Vader when he said, he told the truth from a certain point of view, right? You killed her in your anger. No, when technically, I'd actually be hard pressed. Why did Padme die? She died of a broken heart. Well, is that your reasoned, logical, scientific reason for why she died? I don't know. I heard that there is actually a deleted scene in the senatorial chamber. The line about this is how liberty dies with great applause. There's a segment, I don't know if it was filmed or not. I don't know in what version of the script it was, but she turned to Bail Organa and made him promise that he would go along with everything, but he would start a rebellion so that in the future, maybe, this could be overcome. And he said, well, what about you? She said, don't worry about me. I don't think I will live long enough to see this happen. Implying that she didn't expect to survive. She knew something that doesn't really fit with the story with what she knew at the time, which would also open up speculation that some have had that maybe she was Force sensitive and it was never developed or something like that. But anyway, the path not taken. Dr. Evil. Austin, I am your father. Really? No, I can't back that up. Yeah, exactly. Luke should have sabered him right there. Yeah, exactly. Luke should have sabered him right there. You mean Vader when he said, I am your father? He'd already lost his hand and his lightsaber. He couldn't saber anybody. Almost every time stormtroopers are shooting at the main characters, they have orders to miss. There are a lot of instances where that is true. If you think it through, that is true. Pay close attention. People have gone way overboard in paying attention to the battle at the Blockade Runner. The very first battle with stormtroopers that you see. The rebels get killed just as well as the stormtroopers. In fact, it's very well thought out, right? There's the bottleneck, right? As they're coming in, they're all along the wall shooting, right? So they get a number of stormtroopers, forcing the stormtroopers behind them to step over the dead bodies. After that, it's a rout, and the stormtroopers just start pegging off these rebels. And then in background scenes, you see laser blasts going back and forth, and you see a lot of rebels going down. Stormtroopers are a better shot than they're given credit for if you pay attention to the stories. Now, what I said about paying close attention to what happens in the Blockade Runner, and that some people have paid way too much attention, because there is a fan edit of Star Wars out there where they upscaled it and touched it up and stuff like that, and added blaster bolts, because there are sometimes sound effects without a visual effect, sometimes a visual effect without a sound effect. Sometimes you see someone go down without actually being hit by a blaster. So somebody went in and touched those up. But yeah, people have paid way too much attention to those battles. That's why we think they are as incompetent as Starfleet Redshirts. Actually, Starfleet red shirts aren't as is kind of misapplied as well. I saw someone did the math, and more yellow shirts get killed than red shirts. It is the whole element of, if you beam down to the planet and you're the extra with no name that's never been seen before, why are you even there? You're there to be the victim. So that ends up becoming the trope. But sometimes that extra isn't a victim. They're actually there for a plot point, especially if it's a female, right? Or if some significant element of their character is mentioned. He's a doctor, a mission specialist. He knew somebody from before. You know they're going to be at least around for most of the episode for whatever story reason they were put into it. But that's another excellent point. Phasers on stun. Although we also know that in the first movie, Princess Leia set for stun. The stormtroopers can set for stun if they so choose. Clearly in the blockade runner battle, there was no set for stun. And if you set for stun, there's a visual and audible tell that they're firing at us on stun. You know? So if you don't want to give that away, you got to shoot to kill, but not kill by not hitting them, you know? Red shirts, my favorite Klingon snack. Yes, exactly. I thought vodka was Luke's father. Well, may have led to Luke's mother. Well, never mind. Let's not go there. I have a question for Troy or Mark. Leth. Suffix means sword. And the metleth actually looks like a sword. Is there an actual long sword or great sword besides the batlet? There is, of course, the pole arm, which is called the what is it called? It's the same name as Honored Friend second. I forget. There is also a weapon used by the clerics of Boreth that is effectively a broken batlet, the hook of the batlet, on a pole, and it's called an aklet. I've got a video about that. I'll have to share that with you sometime. Except originally she lived for another few years as a servant on Alderaan. Who did? Oh, you mean Shmi? That would be interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to look at the EU information about Shmi. Deleted scene where Bail, Padme, Mon, and some others plot to restore the Republic. Oh, okay. Okay, I haven't seen that. And on Endor, where Leia gets shot and Han was going to die in one draft. He really wanted to die. He really did. Actually, it's Lech, which means maintain or maintenance. It's a verb added to the other. Ah, yes, that's right. Right, and that's the other thing. Sword is used, that's how humans would refer to that weapon, right? So batleth would be tool for maintaining honor. Okay? Is it a sword? I've heard a lot of, people say it's a sword, it's not a sword, blah, 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 blah. Well, no, it's not a sword. It's a batleth. It is its own weapon. A Klingon wouldn't call it, the same. It's a tool. It is a tool, just like the meklet, the aklet, and so forth. So getting caught up on whether it's comparable to a long sword, a great sword, a two-handed sword, you know, a bow staff is a stretch. It has to do with stretching translation. And who's going to die before the credits? Well, hopefully nobody here, because I'm getting ready to roll the credits. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me for Liquid Lunch today. I hope you had fun finding out about the history of vodka, doing a little bit of Star Wars Holiday Special talk, and digging into some geeky stuff like we always do. Guys, I thank you so much. If you're able to make it tonight, I look forward to seeing you tonight. Otherwise, hope to catch you on Lethal Weapon 2 over on Big Al Presents tomorrow night. Until then, drink responsibly. Take care.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.